Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How's everybody feeling? Good. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And I'm going to stop my phone from buzzing. We'd like to welcome you to Unity of Jupiter. We're going to sing our gathering song, Spirit is in This Place. If you know it, sing along, clap your hands. Feel free to stand up. We have come together as a family. We have come here as we are. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. Sing with words of prayer. We affirm all life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place.
I light this candle that represents the Christ light that shines for all of us and in and as all of us. And as we come together in prayer, we take a deep breath and close our eyes and turn within. We thank you, loving Father, Mother God, for this moment, for this holy and sacred moment, for us to be together in spiritual community, to be lifted up by truth, to remember who we are, to love and to serve from that place of our highest and best. And in this place of prayer this morning, we bring our neighbors to the south into our awareness, all those that have been affected by the collapse of the building down in Surfside. And just lifting all those people up, those who have lost their lives, their loved ones and their families, and all the people caring for them and the emergency workers, and just sending as much light and love as we can that way. Let's take a deeper breath and open our hearts a little wider and send that love out past that place to anywhere in the world where there is less than the expression of God, whether it's through hunger or disease or war or ignorance. Let us shower this planet with the loving light of God, coming from God through our hearts out to the world and back to us. And as we do that, we celebrate the abundance of all good things in our lives and on the planet. We know God is in charge. We know that there is good in all situations. So we thank you, loving Father, Mother God, for your love that blesses us this morning as we step into a greater expression of our divine essence. We give thanks and pray this in the name and in the nature of the indwelling Christ presence. And so it is. Amen. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Unity of Jupiter. We are an out-of-this-world, down-to-earth spiritual community, creating heaven on earth as we practice spiritual principles such as above, so below. And that has mostly to do with our thinking, with our minds, with our intellect, bringing that down into our hearts and living that out into our feelings and out into the world. So we're here to celebrate God, so thank you all for being with us this morning. And is anybody here for the first time this morning? Joining us for the first time? Okay. If you are here for the first time, didn't want to be recognized, we won't recognize you out in public. But we thank you for being here. And I want to welcome anybody and everybody who's joining us online this morning, wherever you are. Thank you for being with us. We want you to know that Unity is an inclusive, accepting community. And no matter what your race, your lifestyle, your sexual orientation, that you're welcome to celebrate God with us. So thank you all for being here this morning. I'm Reverend Bodhi Campbell. It's my honor to serve this ministry. All right. We have a statement of truth that we like to share together every morning. Let's say this together. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And our affirmation today is, together, I am love in action. Let's take a deep breath. And let's say that one more time. I am love in action. And if you have one of these guys with you, we invite you to take it out and to check into your social media. Check in at Unity of Jupiter and post love in action. You can send that out to the world and silence your cell phone at the same time, and we'll feed two birds with one crumb. And some of you who have been coming regularly may have noticed that it's not deja vu, but we've done some of these same affirmations recently, because this is part 2 of our Love in Action service. So we're using the same affirmation and some of the same music, which is what we're about to move into right now, which is our congregational song. And we're going to stand and sing this together. The greatest thing. You old-time Unity folks will recognize this song from the hymnal, Wings of Song. All right. I'll bet you we could make that font a little bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that one back there, and I can just about see it. So.
Greatest thing in all my life is loving you. Greatest thing in all my life is loving you. I want to love you more. I want to love you more. Greatest thing in all my life is loving you. Greatest thing in all my life is serving you. Greatest thing in all my life is serving you. I want to serve you more. I want to serve you more. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you.
Very nice. And now as we move into our ritual of friendship, we invite you to greet each other however you are most comfortable in doing that. If that means energetically, just sharing some love around the room, or hugs and handshakes and all that good stuff as we sing, I am the light of God. 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 You are the light. Tell somebody deeply. You are the light of God. You are the light of God. You are the light of God. We are the light. Hands in the air if you dare. We are the light of God. We are the light of God. We are the light of God. I am the light. Take it into your heart. I am the light of God. I am the light of God. I am the light of God. And so it is. Please be seated. I want to welcome Sherry, our board treasurer, to the platform.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see all of you here on this beautiful Sunday. Our word of the day is let go and let God. I do what is mine to do and release the rest. I am equipped with powerful spiritual tools to use toward creating the life of my dreams. Through prayer and meditation, visualization, and affirmation, I am willing to work for what I want to see manifest in my life and in the lives of those I care about. Sometimes I can be so focused on what I'm doing that I forget the importance of stepping back from my efforts and releasing my attachment to specific outcomes. There is a great peace that comes from knowing I have done all I can do, and then, in perfect peace and clarity, releasing outcomes to the divine that is in all people and circumstances. I heed my guidance to discern when to take action and when to yield the activity of spirit. Our reading is from Matthew 6:33. But strive first for the kingdom of God and his righteousness. All these things will have given to you as well. Announcements? Do we have announcements? We have a few announcements here. This is different. Okay. Our Love in Action volunteer program's second training session is today. So come and celebrate service from 12 to 2. We had a great turnout last time, and it was really, really wonderful. Lots of volunteers out there. Yoga with Reverend Bodhi starts July 6th, every Tuesday and Thursday morning from 9 to 10:30 in person in the sanctuary and also on Zoom. So please bring a yoga mat, a towel, and water. A few times a week, Reverend Bodhi has been sharing miraculous meditations live on our Facebook page. Now he is offering these every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2:30, live on our Facebook, but also through Zoom, with the intention of interacting with those watching Zoom. Zoom information is in the newsletter. And Sound Healing with Joy Adel is back on July 9th from 7 to 8:30 in the sanctuary. So come for chants, songs, heart-opening conversations, followed by a healing sound bath. Please bring whatever you need to comfortably lay on the floor if you choose. July 11th, immediately following the service, will be a Unity Town Hall meeting. Bring all your questions, suggestions, and ideas about the future of our spiritual home here. Light refreshments will be available. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. That was a lot of stuff. It's said it out loud. I'm actually teaching yoga now, so whew, I have to commit to that one. Well, I think I did. All right. And we're going to move into our meditation now by singing Love, Serve, and Remember. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember why have you taken birth? Do you remember why have you come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember why have you taken birth? Why have you come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. And as we breathe into this holy hush, we become more aware of the one power and the one presence, God the good. And bringing our awareness into our hearts, we feel the love of God. We feel into God, knowing that God is love. It is the energy of which we are created. It is the energy that heals our lives, ourselves, our bodies, our planet. It is the most powerful energy in the world. So breathing deeper and deeper into our hearts open wider and wider, accepting all the love of God and giving out all the love of God, filtered through our being, filtered through our consciousness, filtered through our actions. We have come to love, serve, and remember. So we love God with all our hearts, all our minds, all our strength. We love our neighbors with that same love. And maybe even more importantly, we love ourselves right where we are, no matter what we're carrying with us today. Any shame, any guilt, any fear, any worry. We just allow love to transform it all, knowing that in this moment, all is perfect inside the circle of God's love. And knowing this truth, that I am the love of God, I invite you to bring into your mind a person, a situation that could use some of this love. Whether it's what we talked about earlier down in Surfside or another situation in your personal circle. And offer your love to that situation, to that person in a form of service. How can I help? How can I serve you? And we know the answer is always love. And so shower that situation, that person, with the love of your heart, knowing that the source of that love is God. It's pure. It's powerful. And the challenge is to give that love away wastefully, because there is always more love to give. Give as much as you can. So as we love, as we serve, we remember. We remember God in all things. We remember to look for the good, to find God in every situation, even when it passes our human understanding. We know that God meant it for good. And then there's a time after we have done this loving, this serving, and this remembering, to allow it to all come back to us, so that we may bathe in this energy, in the peace, in the glow, in the harmony and the joy of this loving service and this remembrance of God. So let go of everything else. Be the love. Be the loving service. And be the presence of God right here, right now, in the stillness and in the silence. And with joyous gratitude, we give thanks for remembering how the silence serves us in our healing and in our prayer work. So with that gratitude, we gently begin to bring our awareness back to this time and place, giving thanks for this presence of God that is within us and all around us, as we sing once more, Love, Serve, and Remember. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come? Love, serve, and remember. Love, serve, and remember. Love, serve, and remember. Love, serve, and remember. I wasn't going to do a special music piece until after my lesson, but I saw it's raining out there. The rain is falling down like all the souls you send here, coming to the earth to find healing. The earth takes in the rain like your soul takes my voice. Let us heal each other with our prayers, with our voice. And I'm coming home, and I'm coming home, and I'm coming home, and I'm coming home. So there's a mantra here. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Means I bow to the divine teacher within me. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Gurudev, Gurudev Namo. Gurudev, Gurudev Namo. Gurudev, Gurudev Namo. Gurudev, Gurudev Namo. I bow my head to God. And God took all of me. Every imperfection. God took all of me. that lives and breathes in me. Can't you see? Looking in the mirror, I love you, sweet God. Oh, my beloved, kindness of the heart. This is your way. This is your grace. This is your way. This is your grace. Every breath I take. This is your way. This is your grace. Every hand I hold. This is your way. This is your grace. Every tear I shed. This is your way. This is your grace. I got a new stand. Thank you, music team. Thank you all for joining in on that and creating that beautiful vibration. So, several centuries ago, the Pope decreed that all the Jews had to convert to Catholicism or leave Rome, leave Italy. And there was a huge outcry from the Jewish community, so the Pope offered a deal. And they would hold a religious debate with the leader of the Jewish community. And if the Jews won, they could stay in Italy. And if the Pope won, they'd either have to convert or leave. So the Jewish people met and picked the aged sage, the wise rabbi, to represent them in this debate. And however, as the rabbi spoke no Italian and the Pope spoke no Yiddish, both sides agreed that it would be a silent debate. So on a chosen day, the Pope and the rabbi sat opposite each other, and the Pope raised his hand and showed 3 fingers. And the rabbi looked back and raised 1 finger and shook it at the Pope. And next, the Pope waved his fingers around his head, and the rabbi pointed to the ground. And the Pope brought out a communion wafer and a chalice of wine, and the rabbi brought out an apple. With that, the Pope stood up and declared himself beaten and said that the rabbi was just too clever and that the Jews could stay in Italy. And later, the cardinals met with the Pope and asked him what had happened. How come you lost? And the Pope said, well, first I held my 3 fingers up to represent the Trinity. He responded by holding up a single finger, shaking it to remind me that there is still only one God common to both of us, to both our beliefs. Then I waved my fingers around my head to show him that God is all around us, and he responded by pointing to the ground and showing that God is also right here with us. Next, I pulled out the wine and wafers to show God absolved us all of our sins, and he pulled out an apple to remind me of original sin. He beat me at every move I could, and I just couldn't continue. Meanwhile, the Jewish community got together with the rabbi to talk about how he'd won. He said, "I haven't a clue," said the rabbi. Said, first he told me that we had 3 days to leave Italy, and I shook my finger and I said, "No, we're staying right here." Then he tells me that the whole country would be cleared of Jews, and I told him that we were staying right here. "And then what?" asked a woman. He said, "I don't know. He took out his lunch and I took out mine." Yeah, religion's a funny thing, isn't it? So this is part 2 of our Love in Action service, and there's no one who epitomizes service more than the Pope and the rabbis as far as how they show up in the world to serve. If we let go of personalities and different things like that, the positions that they hold is all about loving service. And we are here to love, serve, and remember. That's the words of, that's the movement that Ram Dass created, right? Love, serve, and remember. Many of us have read Ram Dass and studied his work, which goes hand in hand with unity and our Christ teachings and our unity beliefs about what's important and how we show up in the world. And it also speaks to Jesus' teaching when asked what was the greatest commandment. He said to love God with all your mind and your heart and your soul and your spirit, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And to me, it's real easy to change out that word with love, to serve God with all your might, all your mind, all your spirit, all your soul, and to serve your neighbor as yourself. For me, those 2 words are really easy to change out, because love is a verb, right? Love is an action, that to show our love, to demonstrate our love, we need to give it away. And in this form of service, to serve one another. So service can be a path to God for many people. It's the karma yoga. It's seva. It's about doing everything we do in a sacred way. So how do we love God? How do we serve God? Mother Teresa knew how to do it, right? She saw the face of Christ in every body that she picked up out of the gutter, right? She saw God in everything. Jesus served God by showing us our oneness with God, that showing us that we were beloved children of God too. It's all about our consciousness, of our awareness of God. And there is a saying that when you see if you don't see God in all, you can't see God at all. So in other words, the awareness and the consciousness is to know that God is in everything, and then to have the mindset that whatever we do, whatever action we take, we're doing it for God, or we're doing it in God, or we're doing it with God. To know that there's no separation, right? That's our whole journey on this spiritual path, is to get back to that oneness in God. So to have that mindset, that God consciousness all the time. And how do we serve others? The saying is, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. So what does that mean? I guess you have to first look at how do you love yourself. And that maybe is the biggest stumbling block for most of us. I know for myself, that can be the greatest challenge, is to forgive myself when I've come up short, to be able to get back to knowing that I'm God's beloved child and to be able to keep going forward. I mean, that's what life's all about, right? And the more neurotic you are, the more you worry about that. The more psychotic you are, the more you blame it on other people. But you have to figure out where you are in that scale. It's a scale. We're on it somewhere. And so, loving ourselves is, it's about self-care. It's about doing the things that we love to do in the world and in our lives. It's about being with the people that we love to be with. These are the things that help us to love ourselves. And the more that we do that, the more then it's easier to love our neighbors. And, again, Jesus taught us how to do that in the story of the Good Samaritan. In those days, the Samaritans were of mixed blood, so they weren't as accepted by the Jewish community. And Jesus used this example of the Good Samaritan to show his inclusiveness, to show that all people are children of God. And as the priest and the holy person walked by the person bleeding on the side of the road, it was the Samaritan who stopped. So who's your neighbor? It's not only that person in the ditch, but it's also the people that we have marginalized, right? The people that we think are less than. Those are Jesus' teachings. We all fit in. We all belong. So we even need to serve those who we might think are less than. I talked about Father Gregory Boyle last week, and he says that we need to stop thinking that any person is better than another person in the mind of God. That we all have that same spark of divinity within us. The religion things are just kind of what confuses all that. Like somebody with a shaved head and a saffron robe is better than someone walking a labyrinth or on the medicine wheel, or a different color skin, or more money. Those are all our human constructs. And yeah, there's an evolution that we can get better at things, but the essence of who we are is that pureness, that pure essence of God. Everything else is just a covering. I like to think of that. The more you uncover who you are, the more your divine essence comes out, right? And the easier you can see it in other people. And I don't know. For me, that's the journey, to get back to that oneness. And we do it through service. We do it through loving service. Mother Teresa wrote a little poem, said, "The fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. And the fruit of love is service. And the fruit of service is peace." I know for me, when I've been of service and been in that place of peace, I have a deeper sense of that peace, when I've allowed God to work through me. And it's been an interesting journey for me, from at 29 years old when I got sober, and my life switched from what can I get to what can I give. And that's been the theme of my life for the last 31 years, has been to be of service, to be of loving service. And sometimes I do it well, and sometimes I come up short. That humanity just gets in there sometimes. You always, I don't know if this is like that for you, but there's just been a couple people that I've clashed with that no matter what I've done, I always like said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing. Do you have somebody like that? Like somebody you just can't prove you're a child of God to? They just, geez, why'd I say that? Why'd I do that? It's like they're an angel sent to just like uncover your deepest shadows. And it reminds me of saying the word shadow. Carl Jung said that the greatest service we can do is to stop projecting our shadows onto other people. Think about that. Think how we do that as a culture, how we make other people wrong. And so just to me, it's about owning my stuff. The more I own my stuff, the less I project my shadow. And then I can say, oh, thank you for showing me my shadow, because I still need to work on that. That's just like a never-ending job. So our unity metaphysics talk about service from a place of, there's two ways that we serve. We either serve from our ego, where I'm trying to get something from you. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to get you to believe this certain thing. I'm trying to do something where that's coming from my personality. Or we serve from our individuality, which is each one of us is an individual expression of God. And then when you serve from that place, the money flows. The good flows when we're coming from being that channel of God. Some of you have probably read the book by Chuck C. called A New Pair of Glasses. And in that book, he talks about exactly that. At one point in his life, all he was like, he was selling electronics, back when electronics were light bulbs and switches, things like that. And, and if they didn't buy his order, he would be upset, And then he had a transformation in his life, and he went out to his clients like, how can I serve you? And became more prosperous and more blessed. But it's by that switch. So I know who I'm talking to, and I know you guys know this. But just like me, I'll bet you need a reminder once in a while that I need to do this from the truth of who I am, not from my ego. Because when I get scared, it's like then I get needy, and I need something, and I need you to buy my light bulbs. But when I come from that place of God, it's like, how can I serve? What can I give? So love, serve, and remember. People ask me about my name often, Bodhi, and it's short for Bodhisattva in the Buddhist tradition. A Bodhisattva is one who's committed to awakening, mine and yours. And a spiritual name is more of something of what you aspire to be than what you are. It's kind of like that goal and that thing out there. So I'm not saying I'm a bodhisattva, although we all are if we serve in any capacity. But it's more something that to hear your name, it's like it reminds you, oh yeah, that's who I am. It's another one of those reminders. And there are 4 vows of the bodhisattva. The first one is, suffering beings are limitless. I vow to liberate them all. That's a lot of work, you might think. The second one is, attachment is inexhaustible. I vow to release it all. The third one is, the gates of truth are numberless. I vow to master them all. And the fourth is, the ways of awakening are supreme. I vow to realize them all. That way of life that the bodhisattvas live, in addition to that, they vow to not go to nirvana until all human beings, all sentient beings are awakened. So it's a lifetime and maybe thousands of lifetimes until that being is awakened. So Jack Kornfield's one of my favorite teachers, and he says, I don't know if I can do all those things. And he's like a he was in the jungles in Sri Lanka practicing Buddhism for years, and he's a Buddhist psychologist, and he knows all the scriptures and everything, and he struggles with it. So he had to find out some words for himself, some ways to hear these vows in a way that would work for him. And the first one is, suffering beings are limitless. I vow to liberate them all. He said, for me, it sounds like this. I vow to cultivate boundless compassion. So it's not necessarily my work to liberate everyone, but it's my work to have compassion. And maybe that compassion liberates everyone or liberates more. The second, the attachment is inexhaustible. I vow to release it all. It sounds like a pretty tough thing to do. I mean, I think about all my attachments that I haven't released yet. But his vow is, I vow to have a boundless sense of humor. Because I find myself attached to things or whatever, and I just have to laugh at myself sometimes. And maybe in that laughter, I release a little bit more. The third one is the gates of truth are numberless. I vow to master them all. Jack says, I vow to have endless curiosity. How can I possibly master all the truth that there is to know? But I can stay curious. And the last one is the ways of awakening are supreme. I vow to realize them all. He says, I will cultivate profound trust. So these are the ways of service to master helping others to awaken, or to be conscious that we're helping others to awaken, to learn as much truth as we can. And maybe this one is like one of the 4 agreements to not take things so seriously, to cultivate a sense of humor, just like the rabbi and the pope. So we work on this, and it's a never-ending project. The thing I love about the spiritual path, there's always more that's being revealed, right? There's more shadow that needs to be healed. There's more gifts to give. There's more relationships to heal. There's more prosperity to experience. And it's a journey. So I think we love ourselves, we serve ourselves when we're gentle with ourselves, and we accept things just as they are, right here and right now. There's a Bodhisattva prayer for humanity that says, may I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles, and for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I be sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are free from sorrow, and the family of all beings is awakened. What a prayer. A prayer of service, to be present to every situation in the world, in our lives that comes up, where we can just be the light, where we can be the love, where we can be that gentleness. And I want to close with this other scripture from Galatians, because we're moving into the 4th of July holiday, and we know that's all about our freedom, right? So from Galatians 5:13, it is absolutely clear that God has called you to a free life. It is absolutely clear that God has called you to a free life. Just make sure that you don't use this freedom as an excuse to do whatever you want to do and destroy your freedom. Rather, use your freedom to serve one another in love. That's how freedom grows. So let's take a moment to know this inwardly as we breathe together. Thank you, loving Father, Mother God, for these reminders that we are here to serve one another in love, to follow the teachings of the masters, to vow to do the best we can in every situation to lift others up, and in that, knowing that we are blessed in return. And we give thanks and pray this in the name and in the nature of the indwelling Christ presence. And so it is. Amen. Bless you.
Okay, that was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now we move into our celebration of abundance, our opportunity to give back from our financial abundance. You can donate through our webpage or text the amount to 561-531-5490. You can also scan the QR code or drop it off in one of our abundance boxes. We have one at the front, one over here. And in keeping our time of giving sacred, I would like you to now take your gift in your hands and bless it. You are planting the seeds of your own prosperity and giving back to God from the abundance that has already been provided for you. Breathe life into your gift and thank God that you have this gift to give. And now affirm with me the offertory blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
One little boy in Africa, he put a face on me. Told his story till the world till he died. And these are the words he said. He said, do all you can with what you have. In the time you have, in the place where you are, do all you can. Do all you can.
Do all you can with what you have. In the time you have and the place where you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. Holy Mother from India, helping the rich and the poor. Somebody asked, why do you do these things? She said, this is what I came here for. She said, do all you can with what you have. In the time you have, in the place where you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have. In the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ah, 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 ah.
to share wherever we go. Be the change you want to see in the world. Now I understand what they wanted us to know. You can do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can.
Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ha 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 ha.
A little boy and I'll come.
Do all you can. Holy Mother in India, do all you can.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha
Thank you. All right. Do all you can, the best you can. Let's take this moment to bless the gifts as we breathe and turn within and connect one more time in prayer. Thank you, loving Father, Mother God, for the abundance that flows in and through this ministry. We acknowledge you as the source of all our good, and we give thanks for all the different channels of this good. So we give thanks for each and every one of you today who supports this ministry monetarily. And we affirm that these gifts and this abundance allows us to be in the world but not of it. Allows us to pay our bills and to thrive as a spiritual community. And we take this opportunity to bring into our awareness the children of this ministry, affirming that as we reopen and recreate our youth and family ministry, that our children will be returning. We open our hearts a little bit more to include all the children of the world, affirming they are protected, provided for, and loved now and always. And we bring into our awareness all those on our prayer list here at Unity of Jupiter, and anyone else in your minds and hearts this morning, affirming that God's good is working in their lives, bringing about healing, peace, abundance, and all good things. We give thanks and pray this in the name and in the nature of the indwelling Christ presence. And so it is. Amen. And let's stand as we close with the peace song.
Sorry to whack you there.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And together, the light of God
God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we say, Yay, God!
And our affirmation, I am love in action. So it is. God bless you. Our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you.
Can you tell that? Can you say